Boating in close calls, if you spend enough time out on the water, these things are just going to happen. Eventually, at some point in time, you're likely going to wind up running into something. Now, I know it sounds easy enough to go out there and get into that boating lifestyle, enjoy yourself out there on the water, or getting to and from the water and not hitting anything, but apparently, it's not as easy as it sounds. So today we're going to explore this subject a little bit, some of the things that can go wrong, the close calls you can have, or some of the things you may run into on, or in this case, off the water in your boating lifestyle. Welcome back, guys, to this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. Speaking of running into things, I ran into a little bit of hate mail this week. Apparently, I forgot to do a giveaway last week, and as many of you know, 2023 is the year of giving, and we're doing a giveaway every week on the channel. This week will be no different. We're going to give away one of our Drain Plug Mafia tumblers. Now, all you have to do to be eligible to win, it's pretty simple. Hit the like button right now and leave a comment at some point in time during the video, and people who do both those things, we're going to pick our favorite comment and somebody's going to win a tumbler. Now, there are many different reasons that boaters can find themselves, well, in some sticky situations creating close calls, but one of the biggest reasons I see this happen is going to be lack of situational awareness. This can be for many different reasons. One, they could be a new boater, not fully understanding the abilities of their boat, themselves, or not understanding their surroundings on the water. Number two, it can be an experienced boater on a new waterway, which is almost more dangerous sometimes than a new boater who's just out there experiencing things for the first time, because that boater who's got the experience, they think they already know it, not understanding that being on a new waterway comes with its own set of nuances and can definitely lead into some downfalls. You will be dealing with different types of vessels out there on a new waterway than maybe you would typically at your local lake. You're also going to experience different driving conditions. Maybe you're used to a big wide open lake and maybe the new waterway's got narrower canals. Well, a boater with experience is more likely to get out there and just send it compared to a new boater who's probably going to use a little more caution in these situations because they're already nervous about what could go wrong. As to where your more experienced boater is probably going to have a little more confidence about their skill, but sometimes this can backfire, especially if they're on a new waterway, because it's going to be a different experience and they're probably going to experience some things they've never experienced before on their local waterways. Now, don't be wrong, boating is a skill of learning. We're all learning all the time. Some of us just like to learn the hard way. Now, don't get me wrong, there's no substitute for experience, but situational awareness of your waterways is still huge. Even the Coast Guard recognizes this in the way they issue their commercial license. For example, I have a master's near coastal license through the US Coast Guard that enables me to take a vessel up to 200 miles offshore with paying customers on board. Now, I personally only have about 15 years of relative boating experience, but I promise you right now, there's somebody with 30 plus years boating experience watching this video with a master captain's license that doesn't have the near coastal endorsement and can only operate in the inland waterways because that's where their experience is. And even me, for example, I don't have a Great Lakes endorsement on my license because I don't spend any time in the Great Lakes. Thus, the Coast Guard recognizes I probably don't have the situational awareness of those waterways to be able to hold a master captain's license and operate a commercial vessel on those waterways with paying customers on board, and rightly so, because every waterway is going to have its own unique set of circumstances that you need to fully understand as a captain. The same way every vessel is going to have its own little nuances as well. So situational awareness is key to try and avoid some of those tough situations. And if you're on a new vessel or a new waterway, make sure you use caution, because it doesn't really matter how much general boating experience you have. If you're doing something new with something new, it's going to be a new experience. Now, of course, situational awareness carries over off the water as well. In any situation you're doing in boating, always look for the solution. If something's wrong, look and see what the solution is. It may be right in front of your face. Other times, you may have to take a little deeper dive, a little longer look to try and figure out what the problem is and see if you can take a step back and determine the best solution you can. But whatever you do, always keep your guard up. Never just assume no matter what you're safe in boating. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. You see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Adam G, Adam Coolidge, Aubrey Dude, Chris Hegerud, Jack Lauterbach, Michelle Stanzik, Nino Alaya, Redondo Beach Firefighters, Shane Smith, Slick Johnson 23, and the Cool As Bubba did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.